This is Michael Popok. It's After Dark. Do you know where your legal AF is? Speaking of not knowing where something is, the Biden administration's fourth and looks like final attempt to try to do loan forgiveness for student loans is on life support. We got a new decision by yet another federal judge, competing federal judge in Missouri, who's tried to finally put the silver bullet into the Biden loan forgiveness program to help 30 million people who are weighted down and crushed by debt from loans that they took out for, that auto repair course or that beautician school or that, AC repair course or some phony school that they took out a loan for. This was a way to give them that relief and return them to a productive life in America, being able to pay for their bills, pay for their families, and get ahead and maybe get another type of education or training. We break it all down for you on Legal AF. Take a listen. In Georgia, if we'd gone to air on a couple of days after that, we would have had a great story. Biden loan forgiveness program upheld by federal judge in Georgia. But now we got Missouri. You want to walk the audience through all that?
Yeah, I mean, look, it was, kind of, I felt like playing ping pong in a way, like it was a little bit crazy because at first it seemed like we had a victory that we were going to be able to, celebrate, right? There was reporting is that, 27 or something million borrowers could qualify for this debt forgiveness, the student loan forgiveness. And as you point out, you have to qualify for it. It's not just anyone with student loans, right? And it's 27 million people. And there was a federal judge that so this is all arguments over injunctions or emergency stays, that sort of a thing. This isn't like the full kind of trial and on the merits about the program. This is like Joe Biden wants to do this program. I think this is the third debt forgiveness program that he has tried to push through. And this is yet another lawsuit, but a judge in Georgia is where it started. Sorry. And then they said Georgia doesn't have standing, but then they kicked it over to Judge Schlepp. What a word, what a name. And who's a Trump appointee in Missouri, saying that is where this is properly venued, this case. They have standing. And of course, Judge Schlepp, very, very quickly in a 3-page order, ordered that, no, I'm putting the temporary injunction back in place. So I think it was 24 hours when the Georgia judge who had initially put the injunction in, while they considered, they did a temporary injunction while they considered this, they lifted it quickly, sent the case over to Missouri. And in Missouri, this judge very quickly wrote this short order saying, nope, can't do it. I'm enjoining you from, essentially ordering, this is a federal district judge, ordering the Joe Biden administration not to forgive the debt. And we'll put it over for full briefing and for, discovery and trials and all of that. And so what is that a signal of? That's a signal that essentially, Biden is only going to be around for a little while longer. Certainly not enough time to, before the change of administration, whether hopefully it's to Harris or to Trump, it's certainly not enough time for this to go forward on the merits and to make any sort of ruling whatsoever. I mean, look, so this is dead. It's dead in the water, this case, especially if Trump wins, because then, he'll just not do this program. If Harris wins, then this will proceed through the courts and it will wind its way around. But it was really a kind of stunning blow to this program again. And, it was hard because, as you said in the beginning of this show, we thought we were going to be able to celebrate this win. And in less than 24 hours, they just shut it back down again.
It's a kick in the groin to people that have difficulty paying off student loans because of the running interest. And the program was not made that, like, when you went to a trade school or a law school, you weren't supposed to have to pay the loans for 20 and 25 years like a mortgage. And if you only made interest payments because that's all your income could afford, you weren't supposed to have these loans forever. Education is supposed to be We want an educated society. We want a publicly educated society, or have that available to people. And why the Republicans are against education and are against people, they would say, well, they made, I loved, I forget who it was. It was Wilbur Ross or one of the other billionaires that were in Donald Trump's first cabinet. And they said, well, just dip into their 401k plans. Oh, okay. They could also have their butler run down to a bank and take some money out of their safety deposit box. That's not how most Americans live. A lot of Americans are treading water. And that's one of the reasons Kamala Harris is running on an economy that isn't anti-billionaire, but is empowering to all people in the society, and lifting all boats, that kind of economy. And the people that signed up for beautician school and to be tradespeople who are important to society, next time you have a stuffed toilet or you need to get a dye job, not me yet, but, thank a trade school that got paid somehow. And a lot of people get taken advantage of in that process. There's tuition for these kind of borderline phony schools, yet real loans that have to be paid back. And that's the people they're helping. But no, it's the opposite game. Whatever the Democrats say as a good social policy, the Republicans find an excuse to kick you in the balls. It's just the way it is. They don't care. That Missouri Attorney General does not care about the voter in his state that can't make ends meet and has been paying $100 a month for the last 30 years, 25 years to pay off a student loan that his children will inherit. Their children will inherit. They don't care about that. And this was a way to wipe the slate clean and let these people get ahead so they're not constantly with this albatross around their neck of not being able to pay the student loan, showing up on their credit. I thought we wanted fine, upstanding citizens that had the ability to buy on credit and could afford a home or a down payment or a security deposit. And so how these states are the red states are saying, no, not our people. If you matched some of these states, it's the same states that have high infant mortality rate, high childhood poverty, low rates of adoption, lots of unwanted pregnancies. And they just act like, well, that's not the role of government. Well, what is the role? That's the difference between the Democrats and Republicans. We see the progressive Democrats and the Democrats see one aspect of the role of government is to help those that are downtrodden, that need our help. They say, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. But what if you don't have boots? And that's the group of people that we should, in a supremely wealthy society whose GDP blows the doors out of any other country, whose unemployment rate is like half of some of our allies in NATO and other places. They're envious of a 3.5% interest rate and a stock market that's booming and a recession that looks like it's not going to be happening, and all of that. But if you want more children in poverty, more uninsured people in America, more people under the crushing debt of student loans that they can never not get out of and can't get out of that dark tunnel. There's no light at the end of the tunnel because there's no light. Then you vote for the Republicans who are just making jokes like on golf courses, like Donald Trump just got caught. And I did a hot take on it on the new Legal AF MTN channel, where Donald Trump was caught in a secretly recorded meeting in Arizona at a fundraiser gathering with billionaires and millionaires, in which he was cracking wise about immigration and people of color again. Using an out of politically incorrect term, colonial term for a part of Africa. They're coming from the Congo. It's just like the old Tarzan movies from the 1940s. The Congo. They're murderers. I mean, he looked like he thought Scarface was a documentary, the one with Al Pacino, about immigration policy. We have to keep the murderers out. And then he cracks some jokes about the guy who died during Butler, Pennsylvania, standing behind him, and about his wife. Ha, ha, ha. This is what they do. When the whiteys all get together, apparently billionaire and millionaires, they make fun of the brown and black people behind their back. I still find it amazing that he's polling as high as he is with the Hispanic community. Now, I know the Hispanic community is not just black and brown. In fact, there's a fair amount of them that identify, so to speak, as white. I get it. But every time he's attacking that immigrant group, recent or past, I just, as a as a grandchild of immigrants, I just hear, I'm next. He has no respect, even though he came as, I don't know where they came from, Bavaria or some borderline Nazi country that the Trump family came from. But he's totally rewritten his history. You'd think he came over on the Mayflower with all their Brooks brothers and preppy. Like, I don't know, the father, came over on some boat somehow. But he's forgotten that. And so that's the big distinction between the two parties for me. That's why I can't understand why the election's this close. Because I think the choice is clear. There's a reason we named this show Legal AF 4 years ago, and now you know why. Join us on Wednesdays and Saturdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time right here on the MeidasTouch Network, where we record Legal AF, the full-length, hour-long podcast, or pick us up on audio podcast platforms of your choice. If you like this kind of stuff at the intersection of law and politics, this commentary and analysis, you're going to love our new channel. It's called Legal AF MTN for MeidasTouch Network. In collaboration with the MeidasTouch Network, I'm curating it. I'm doing a lot of the content there, and I'm bringing on some other amazing contributors, some that you know from the Meidas universe, some that you haven't heard of yet, all pro-democracy at the intersection of law and politics. So join us, Legal AF MTN on YouTube. Until my next hot take, my next Legal AF podcast, my next contribution exclusively for Legal AF MTN, I'm Michael Popok, and I'm reporting. In collaboration with the MeidasTouch Network, we just launched the Legal AF YouTube channel. Help us build this pro-democracy channel where I'll be curating the top stories at the intersection of law and politics. Go to YouTube now and free subscribe at Legal AF MTN. That's at Legal AF MTN.